My amplified unit, the coffee is poppin', the facts will be droppin', and when it comes to the amp unit, you know there ain't no stoppin'. This is the Smackdown review for April 2nd, 2021, amplified. And you know we gonna talk about it. Like Sami Zayn's world premiere event for his documentary with his good friend and fellow YouTuber, Larry Paul. Or Lenny Paul, whatever. It starts with an L, that's all that matters. You know, back in the day, when it came to celebrities getting you pumped for WrestleMania, we were talking Alice Cooper. Even Pamela Anderson. I'll even take Snoopy Dogg. But these days, I'm expected to know who Bad Bunny is, or Larry Paul. And that's not even shade to the bunny. Or to Larry. But damn, I don't know who these people are. I gotta start Googling these motherfuckers. And that's who's supposed to make BC. That's who's supposed to get me into WrestleMania feel. WrestleMania season is here. I'm excited. I got Bad Bunny and I got Larry Paul showing up to the party. It's a regular party, isn't it, Drew McIntyre? Well, it ain't no Claymore party. That's the only party I go to, BC. It's the Claymore party. Sometimes I deliver one. Sometimes it's 2 Claymores. But if I really want to throw a party, it's 10, BC. 10 Claymores. And that's a true Claymore party. Who wants to come to the party? Woo! Not that type of party, Drew McIntyre. It's not a Claymore party. No. It's a Larry Paul party. It's a Bad Bunny party. And who's next? Do we literally invite a minion? Are we gonna have a minion show up? Who is going to show up? Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell? Kelly Kapowski holding his fucking arm? Who? SpongeBob SquarePants, everybody, will be hosting night number 5 of WrestleMania. He lives in the sea, he lives in the land, he lives all over. He's SpongeBob SquarePants. Oh, this is my 4th one in case you haven't fucking found out. Anyway, we're gonna talk about this fucking Sami Zayn world premiere event with Larry Paul, Kevin Owens crashing the party. And we also had a champion lose last night. A champion loses. And it's the same champion that lost 4 nights earlier in 2 minutes. Last night she lost in 30 seconds. And you ain't gonna believe how she lost. Because it's the same exact way 4 nights previous. Oh, we're going to talk about this travesty. And we're also going to talk about Daniel Bryan and Edge and Roman Reigns and their old threesome that they got going on that half of us at least did not want to see, did not need to see. But we're going to talk about how Daniel Bryan didn't just squeal his way into this match. No, he didn't just bitch and moan and complain in. Not only is he in this match, what would you say if I told you that in 90 seconds, Daniel Bryan beat up Jey Uso, Edge, and Roman Reigns? 90 seconds, one dude, barely 5'9", 170 pounds. What would I do if I told you? What would you say if BC said he beat up Jey Uso, Edge, and Roman Reigns? Beat them all up, tapping them out, basically. What would you do if I told you that? You say, BC, stop, man. I know it's pro wrestling, but they wouldn't even do something like that. Oh, we're going to talk about it right now. Smackdown, April 2nd, 2021. There's a lot to talk about, but I really don't know what this show accomplished. I really don't think I'm going to remember anything from this show. I might have to put Carmella on the thumbnail because damn, Carmella. Let's talk about it. What's up, unit? All right, man. We're gonna get to the show in just a minute. I was just thinking about Seth Rollins' suit last night. I don't know what made me think about that. I'm about to review a 2-hour show. I'm gonna try to get this done within a half an hour so we can all go about our weekend. But I just was thinking about Rollins' suit. It was like this white, blue, purple tie-dye explosion, man. It looked like wifey Becky Lynch accidentally washed his suit with Barney and a Smurf. Tell me you remember Barney. Come on. I love you. You love me. We're a fucked up family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. This show sucks. You know it's true. It's the old Barney theme. I may have switched a word around here and there, maybe took one out, added a few, but that's the Barney theme, no? That suit, man. That suit, guys, was extra. Damn! I don't know where he picked that shit up. I dig it, though, you know? You're gonna be a pro wrestler, man. You gotta be a character. You gotta have the craziest outfits. Somebody had to outdo Corey Graves last night. Corey Graves had a suit jacket. This dude looked like he was rolling around in Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival for the last 7 days. This dude was a flower explosion. Only one dude could have took him out on his, suit jacket game, and that was Seth Rollins last night. Anyway, not too many reviews you could say in the first 10 minutes. You got a SpongeBob SquarePants and a Barney theme. I don't know what that says for the rest of this review, but let's get this motherfucker started, and let's do it the right way. Salute to my amp unit. You guys are the fucking greatest. Thank you for our last week on the channel, but also the whole month of March. You guys were absolutely phenomenal. The engagement, the fucking, the live streams that we did just crushed anything we did previous. All of the single videos that are put out in this format, you guys absolutely rocked it. Man, the amp unit, we stepping stronger than ever, man. And it's all us coming together and forming the best possible group in the wrestling community, man. That ain't just BC. That's my amp unit. Strong, baby. Much love to you guys. And this first swig is a salute to all my amp unit members. Here's to another fucking rock solid month. WrestleMania month. The month of April, man. We're going to rock it again. Thank you, guys. And before I start this review, a little more of a serious note. Davey Meltzer, man, he's at it again. He put out another false story this weekend. And, you know, BC doesn't do the whole social thing. Otherwise, I would have warned you guys. Because there was some irresponsible podcasters and YouTubers and journalists in the wrestling community that took Melty Boy's story and immediately started to run with it and dog out WWE. When it comes to dogging out WWE, BC will do that 90% of the time, and it's unfortunate because it's justifiably so, man. It's justifying to do such because the product is so bad. So we have to dog out WWE. But I hate when you know something is false just by reading it, and then people that are not as smart as BC or maybe you, they run with it. And Meltzer this past weekend came up with a story that he heard from sources in the locker room of NXT that Triple H held a meeting, which may have been true, but then he goes on to say that Triple H said, according to sources, that he feels AEW came in and bullied them or tried to bully them off of Wednesday nights. And a couple of hours later, Melty Boy had to retract that statement and say, while there was a meeting I'm hearing, the word bully was never used. In fact, I'm hearing nothing of the sort was said. So he totally, not just backtracked, but he took away his previous statement. But by then, the idiots in the community had already either made a video or sent out a tweet, because that's what we do today. We tweet. And you wonder why the world is so fucked up, because everyone's tweeting all day. Everyone needs to get their voice out, their opinion. Everybody needs to be heard. So before you knew it, this story's breaking out like wildfire, and I can't stand when, You know, you got bullshit out there, man. BC knew from the jump by reading this, by first knowing who is the reporter. In this case, it was Melty Boy. So I never hang on this dude's fucking balls when he puts out a story. I wait about fucking days, even weeks, because it's Melty Boy. So A, I found out who it was. It was Meltzer, so I knew not to believe it. And two, I knew to give it time because it just smelled, seemed, felt like bullshit. And sure enough, Melty Boy came out, but by then, idiots in the community had already started spewing the WWE negativity train. Already started they didn't give Triple H the benefit of the doubt at all, that maybe he wouldn't say something that fucking stupid. I mean, let's give Triple H some fucking credit here. So, I just had to, if you guys come across anything like that, because, again, there was a lot of irresponsible people in the community with large numbers, large subscription bases, or large followers, or large fucking fandom, whatever the fuck. They have an audience, and they prematurely and... what's the word I'll use? I think I used it earlier. Now it just, ignorantly. I'm going to use that word. How's that? I'm going to substitute the word that I was going to use with ignorantly, because you should know by now the source is Dave Meltzer of the reporting. You know that this dude doesn't have as many sources as he would like you to think he has. I don't even know if he has any anymore. Back in the day when he was trying to get a job with WWE, he had some. Nowadays, I think AEW is the only people he has, and he's riding the AEW dick till the cows come home. But you got to know who the source is, and you got to know you got to just know when a story, if it feels like it's bullshit, it's most likely bullshit. And you have a lot of ignorant people in the community with large audiences that just can't get that through their dome pieces. So BC's telling you guys, if you come across like stories that just seem like bullshit, and then you attach Melty Boy's name to it, don't take any stock into it. Thank you guys. That's a little bit of a side note. I know that got away from the review, but it was important for BC to let you guys in on that, man, because it's more bullshit from Melty Boy and more bullshit from people that just wanna flatline WWE. Even when it's bullshit, they know they can get some clicks. They'll get some views. The headline, Triple H feels bullied. 2 hours later, Meltzer's like, now I'm hearing the word was never used. They were never bullied. He never even barely mentioned AEW, if ever. In fact, I don't know if he did. I'm just putting words down and hoping people believe me. Sincerely, Davey Melty Boy. So Edge starts this show off, guys, with a 9-minute promo, still pissed off, justifiably so, about this sham schmaz match at Mania, and Edge unloads verbally and declares the Rated R Superstar is back. All the Edge haters and crybaby bitches were probably upset and yelling for mommy, right? Ma! Edge is the Rated R Superstar again! So what the hell's the problem, Timmy? Let him be. I don't want to. I heard that he was too old to be at WrestleMania. That's what Dave Meltzer said. He said he heard a report from Vince McMahon himself that said that Edge seems too old and he can't be at Mania 1-on-1. Well then, Timmy, if Meltzer said it, it must be true. I know! That's why I don't want to see the Rated R Superstar back. He's too old! So they're crying to their fucking mothers, I bet. Meanwhile, BC's over here. I'm loving it. Edge has been phenomenal since he has returned, man. The injury when he came back, man, that was a fluke. That sucks because he's coming back from 9+ years of a hiatus via injury. So that sucked, but the promos that this guy cuts is still better than the entire roster. This guy just has that old school vibe, that it factor, that these young cats, they don't have anymore. There is no it factor. Everybody seems to be a carbon copy of one another, pumped out of the distribution center that is the PC. Edge, he's that old school fucking it factor dude, man. He just goes out there, he just needs a bullet point, tell him what he needs to talk about, and he'll go fucking 20 minutes with it. Bottom line, absolutely fucking love it. You don't get that anymore. At all, man. And that's something we need more of. That we need to... Otherwise, you're going to get something like you saw with Matt Riddle. You saw Matt Riddle. You script these guys so much, they forget what they're even going to say. And if they don't have their lines mesmerized or memorized, they're going to fucking walk off. They're literally going to leave the promo live like Riddle did with Asuka. And then you hear, we're starting to hear, people like Meltzy Boy, we're starting to hear that this was in the script. No, it wasn't. Look at how it unfolded. Riddle didn't even know if he should leave or not. He looked right at the camera, which Vince cannot stand. Asuka was literally confused. What do I do? I have no idea. She's looking at the producer who's clearly telling her, just walk. And then afterwards, MVP was giving Riddle shit about it. So you know the boys are joking and ribbing Riddle about it. There's nothing here that screams this was scripted. So until you tell me who your source is, oh, we can't tell you because then we won't have them as a source anymore. Then don't feed us bullshit. This is another obvious botch. And it's not even Riddle's fault. They're scripting these guys to the core. Scripting them by the word. This was inevitable. They're gonna forget lines. You saw it with Roman and John Cena a few years ago when Roman was in there with Cena and he literally forgot his lines. And he was stuttering over his fucking words and John Cena had to blow up Roman Reigns in the middle of the fucking ring. He blows his spot up. Because John Cena had to break that fourth wall down just a bit because he knew he had to save the segment. It was drowning. One of the two dudes forgot their lines. And these dudes are so scripted that when they forget the line, they freeze up. They don't naturally just start to improvise. They freeze. And you saw it with Riddle. Just like Roman Reigns did in that promo with John Cena. Matt Riddle just fucking storms off. He was so embarrassed. That wasn't scripted, bro. That was legit. Matt Riddle forgot lines. Edge is one of those old school cats, man. A promo alone will have you on the edge of your fucking seat. Let alone the dude can obviously still go in the ring. You know he's training even more for Mania. But some people just the same people that just want to see WWE fail just to see it fail, they're gonna scream out things like, he's too old, but then Christian can show up in AEW. The dude had a, 15, 20 minute, something like that, man. Props to. Decent match, too. But when he was blown up at the end of it, I mean, this dude was sweating profusely, gasping for fucking breath. He was done. Cooked. And nobody wanted to talk about it. Wow, Christian, an amazing match. First of all, no, it was not amazing. If you want to say great, I'm going to debate with you. I'll give you good. I say decent. I mean, I went back and had to watch the match because everyone was raving about it. Decent. I'll give you good. Nowhere near great. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But because it was AEW, everybody's praising Christian. And over here, Edge, who's carrying fucking storyline. First, he's got to carry a promo with Roman Reigns, which Roman is doing much better now, so I shouldn't say that, man. That was a fun promo that him and Roman were starting to have. But then they inserted Daniel Bryan for no fucking reason. So then it became Edge and Daniel Bryan. Or Bryan and Roman, and Bryan and Edge. So then Edge had to switch focus, and Edge is cutting Dynamite Fire promos with Daniel Bryan now. Or on Daniel Bryan. Everything this dude has been asked to do, he is delivering. But we're gonna shit on him because he's one of the brightest spots of WWE right now. And just like The Fiend, who's one of the brightest spots in WWE, we have to pick the best of WWE, which isn't much. But we got Edge, we got Bray Wyatt, thankfully. Some people in this community, it's an agenda at this point. It is literally a narrative that people like Meltzy Boy and Brian Alvarez and people that follow those douches, it's a narrative and an agenda to take whatever is working with WWE and twist it to make it look like it's not working. Edge is too old. Bray Wyatt sucks. Yeah, no agenda here. The only two dudes that captivate an old-time, long-time fan like BC. But they're the worst parts. They're the trash. Fuck out of here. IBS, Internet Bitch Slap. Because it's well-deserved to those schmucks. Edge, the rated R superstar. Never left. This dude has always been badass. This dude has always been the guy. And again, a lot of people are crying this morning about that. Crying, Ma! Rated R Superstars back! Ma! We're not talking about Edge being old anymore! Ma! Ma, Edge is really good! This is not what I was told from Meltzer! Anyway, Edge kicks the show off with a 9-minute promo. Edge is absolutely phenomenal. Deal with it. Deal with it! Deal with it, bitch boy Bradens. Crybaby Karens. Edge is phenomenal. Does that make you cry? Do you need the tear bucket? Who's got the tear bucket? Who's got the tear bucket? Does Strowman have it? Did somebody take his Capri Suns again? Strowman, where are you, Braun? Or what does Shane McMahon call him? Braun? Braun? Shane McMahon. I'd say if you don't watch the shows, man, Shane's doing this shtick where he's calling Braun stupid. He's literally calling him Braun? Bro, that is so bad. I'm telling you, Strowman did something backstage to piss the wrong people off. Cause damn. Anyway, get the tear bucket from Braun? Get the fucking tear bucket from this dude. Who took my Capri Sun and chocolate chip cookies from my lunchbox? Whoever did this is gonna get these hands. Choo-choo! Chugga-chugga! Woo-hoo! Oh, we're off it, man. We're cracking them. I almost grabbed the fucking water. We don't do water, baby. We get amped. We got the coffee popping. Let's rock it. That's another true story. They added sound effects to Braun Strowman. So now when he does his little run around the ring and shoulder tackles everybody, now they have a legit train sound effect. Choo-choo! The train is revving up, and it sounds like Big Daddy Cool Diesel's theme music, and it's following Braun around. It's like a fucking locomotive. The Strowman Express. But as I said in Raw's review this past Monday, he's going to be in a steel cage match he announced for WrestleMania with Shane. Ooh, a steel cage. And as I said on Monday, is he really a locomotive train anymore? Right? I mean, is this the Strowman Express? Because if you're in a steel structure box, aren't you then Boxcar Braun? Right? You're in a boxcar at that point. So he's Boxcar Braun. He ain't a Strowman Express anymore. No? Is BC the only one thinking like this? Anyway, I don't know. I remember there was an old book series called The Boxcar Children. It's what we read when we were kids. He's Boxcar Braun. Anyway, all right. This review is rolling off the tracks. Speaking of train tracks, let's get back on track. First matchup of the night. So again, Edge, great 9-minute promo. Who the fuck can go out there in the middle of the ring and just spew for fucking 9 minutes? Who do you trust to do that? Without looking like an idiot, sounding stupid, sounding like they don't believe their words. Who can do that? Edge is one of the very few. Maybe Bray Wyatt? Oh no, wait! They suck! Okay! They suck! Then you wonder why I listen to nobody in this community but myself. Then you wonder. You absolutely wonder why BC refuses to listen to anyone else. How do you wonder? Who the fuck am I gonna listen to? Nobody's got brains in this community. Nobody fucking thinks. Oh, I tell ya, first matchup of the night, a pointless, pathetic 8-man tag schmaz involving nearly every tag team in all of WWE. Rude and Ziggler, Otis and Gable, Street Profits, Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Who the fuck wasn't in this match? The Lucha Summer College house parties, I guess. That was it. New Day. But they're Raw. I mean, this is literally over half of the whole tag team division, which is non-existent in this company. And they just throw them out there. Every week, I'm seeing some semblance of these 4 teams. Because that's all they have. And this is why jobbers are so significant. Back in the day, they had jobbers. Fucking dipshit Dugenheimer and fuckwad Fred versus your superstars. and dipshit Dugenheimer and fuckwad Fred would get their asses kicked. Or maybe you had Luigi Lugnuts and Peacock Paulie, and they got their asses kicked by a dominant tag team. You had the Natural Disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon, beating the shit out of Peacock Paulie and Luigi Lugnuts. Back in the day, you had the Hart Foundation, or the Legion of Doom, or the Demolition, beating the shit out of dipshit Dugenheimer, Danny dipshit Dugenheimer, and fuckwad Fred. Nowadays, there's no more jobbers, so the jobbers are the actual talent. The actual superstars become the jobbers. And that's how everybody is 50-50 booked, because they're facing each other every single week, every show. One week, this person gets a win, the next week, the other person. 2 weeks in a row, this team will get a win, the next 3 weeks they'll lose. Then they'll win 2 weeks, then lose 1 week, then win a week. And you see that with the singles competitors as well. The tag teams, it's more magnified because it's so non-existent. So these 4 teams that we've been seeing, we see them all in there again in an 8-man schmaz tag. And get this, next week, these same 4 teams, shocker, will be in the ring again in a fatal 4-way schmaz for the titles. What the fuck? And we're just going to keep doing this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again at WrestleMania. But next Friday, they're declaring this, it's almost like a pre-WrestleMania. It's SmackDown WrestleMania. And the titles are going to be on the line. 4 fucking teams, all 4 of these teams, in another 8-man schmaz. This one, a fatal 4-way. So I hope you guys are keeping track. Basically, it's just the same fucking 4 teams every week in there together in some type of a schmaz scenario. And you're telling me, Beastly, you're so negative with this show, man. You're a mean YouTuber. I've seen a lot of YouTubers. You're a really mean one. No, I'm fair. I'm consistent. I'm honest. I'm real. I drop the truth to help pro wrestling. I'm trying to make it better. This is not working. You know my rule with covering and reviewing schmaz matches. I don't. I refuse to lower myself to such mediocre and lazy booking, because that's what this is. Otis wins with a splash from the ropes and covers Montez Ford for the pin. That's all you need to know. Literally nothing gets accomplished here. Nobody looks strong, everybody looks stupid, and we'll do it all again next week. Moving on. Corey Graves conducts an interview with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Again, the only thing of note here was Rollins' suit. It was simply epic, man. White, purple, blue, tie-dye. Again, it looks like Becky Lynch accidentally put this suit, right? Wifey Lynch put the suit into the wash with like a Barney plush doll and maybe an actual real-life size Smurf got put into the wash too. And it all got washed together and everything blended together, and he came out looking like a fucking Smurf Barney Rollins. It was hilarious, and he was standing next to Corey Graves, who again looked like he was rolling around Epcot at Disney World's Flower and Garden Festival for the last week. Where the hell is Corey Graves? I haven't seen him for days. I think he's still in the Flower and Garden Festival. Well, get him! He's lost in the flowers! This dude was a flower explosion! And he was right next to Tie-Dye Rollins. I couldn't get myself out of the realm of what I was viewing to listen to their words. I'm being honest with you. I was just laughing hysterically at their wardrobe choices. But from what I did gather from the promo, it was actually decent, man. Rollins really did. I mean, there's no real feud here. There isn't. It's going to be a good match. That's all we can say for a lot of these matches at Mania, right? A lot of these matches should be good, of course. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Rollins. There's a lot. Bianca, Sasha. There's a lot that are going to most likely be good matches. But WrestleMania is supposed to be more than good match. It's supposed to make you feel the anticipation, right? You have to, that excitement that you only get this one time a year. It's supposed to be there for WrestleMania. You want to see a culmination of all these awesome storylines. And we don't have any of this year. These are going to hopefully be good matches, but we don't care about them. Cesaro, when Rollins came back, just kind of hung around ringside when he had everybody out there, and then they turned their back on Rollins, and Cesaro stayed around ringside. If anything, it made Cesaro look clueless, because he didn't do anything. It's not, okay, what are you here for, bro? And then he just walks back. It's like, did you forget to go with everyone else? And then from that point on, it felt forced. Every week, Rollins was just getting Cesaro swinged. There's no real story. Rollins is disrespected. And Cesaro just wants limelight. I guess that's the story. So, I mean, Rollins did his best. And again, Cesaro is not a mic guy. You see it again last night. I love Cesaro. You probably do too. The guy on the mic, it's cringe. It's absolute cringe. You can tell he is not comfortable. He doesn't like it. And in there with Rollins, man, Rollins had to carry him last night. Luckily, it was only a few minutes. And luckily, nobody was louder than the wardrobe of Corey Graves and Seth Rollins. So at least what they were talking about was secondary. But I don't know what that says about their WrestleMania match. Other than there really is nothing. But Rollins did his part, man. He is good on the mic. He's got the gift to gab. He did carry that, so it wasn't a total fucking loss. That's it. Yeah, there's nothing else to really talk about. I think did they come to blows? They may have came to blows a little bit too. No. Rollins was about to. He was about to take his Barney Smurf jacket off, and then he stepped back and left, and Cesaro was standing there like, you know, like Liam Neeson in the movie Taken or some shit. So again, I love Cesaro. It's just, I don't know if you can't, he's gonna have to get the mic. You know, that's why I said about Andrade and Zelina Vega. You can't fuck that up. Andrade's got everything you want in a pro wrestler. And the English thing is secondary because he's got the perfect mouthpiece in Zelina. It works. It's beautiful. Same reason why Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette. Yokozuna had a bunch of managers back in the day. Mr. Fuji, Jim Cornette. He had a few others too at times. But that's why that worked. He had mouthpieces. Andrade had Zelina. Vince fucked that up somehow. Rusev was an awesome heel, and he had Lana as the perfect mouthpiece. Vince fucked that up somehow. I don't know how this guy does it or why. Cesaro, if he had a mouthpiece, brah, this guy, sky's the limit. On his own, I don't know how far he could go, because you look at that, you know, you don't gotta, you can hate what I'm saying because we all love Cesaro, but if you do me a favor and you go back to it, you'll see what I mean, man. It's cringeworthy. That's a hole in his game, man. That's got to be fixed. He's got to relax. He's got to have a personality in there. You know, you hear stories of his friends and they'll talk about Cesaro's an awesome dude and he's funny and why are we not seeing this? You know, he's got to trust himself. Open up, man. You're not getting any younger. The world's not getting any better. Have some fun in there. Moving on, Shayna Baszler and Natty Neidhart ends hour number 1. This match was 30 seconds, and the entire 30 seconds was Shayna and Natty rolling around the ring trying to fruit roll up one another. That's the truth. That's not me trying to be funny. That was the truth. It was a 30-second match, and they were just rolling around the ring trying to fruit roll up one another. It's a true story, not an April Fool's joke. Natty defeats your tag champion Baszler via the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating fruit roll-up. Assemble the minions. A fruit roll-up. Bob, Dave, let's go. Time to create evil. I don't know why I broke up in my Gru voice, but we assembled the fruit roll-up last night, which was inevitable because they were rolling around just trying. Nobody wants to look badass. Shayna Baszler, 4 nights earlier on Raw, got fruit roll-up by Naomi, or a version of a fruit roll-up. I mean, she just had her legs tied down, and big badass Shayna could not get her shoulder up from Naomi. And I love Naomi. It's great to see her win. But how the fuck you gonna have your champion lose in 2 minutes on Raw to Naomi in a fruit roll-up? Or a version of it. And then 4 nights later, she loses in even less time, 30 seconds, to Natty via a fruit roll-up. Shayna Baszler! Who is okay with this? What? What? You gotta be kidding me, bro. But this ain't no April Fool's joke. This happened last night. Shayna Baszler, 30 says. Shayna, man. Remember we all thought when she got to me, oh man, there's no way Vince can fuck this up. I mean, she's gonna be a badass. Book her like you would a Ronda Rousey. Just let her destroy motherfuckers. Long championship reign. When that face finally beats her and for her title, it's gonna be huge. No. I mean, she is I mean, wow. I don't know if she can recover. If you have her dominant for the next 6 months in a row, just destroying motherfuckers, that is just going to get her maybe at even par again. And that's if you booked her like Superwoman the next 6 months in a row, every show. So that tells you something. Obviously, Vince isn't going to do that. He's going to remain with his 50-50 booking like he does with everybody, just even worse with Shayna Baszler. And you say, BC, but she has a title. How is she being booked poorly? Have you seen the tag division for the men and the women? Have you seen how those tag titles are being used? Are you saying they're prestigious? I mean, they're more prestigious than the Raw Women's Championship and the SmackDown Women's Championship, evidently, because Asuka for the last 6 months has not even cared about her singles title. It's all been about tag teams and holding the hand of Lana and Charlotte. And over on the Blue brand, Sasha doesn't care about her singles championship. She's too busy tagging up with Bianca Belair for the titles. That's WWE's lackluster, poor, mediatic booking. That's what they do. They make their titles, they devalue them. It's not even less prestigious. They're not prestigious at all. WWE, Vince McMahon makes those titles irrelevant. So the tag title is a consolation prize of nothingness. She got even worse with, the booking got worse for Shayna with the title. And now she's losing in 30 seconds. I don't know how anybody can be okay with this. I really don't. If you are, kudos, man. Wow. What it would be like to live in your fucking cookie cutter fucking, everything is rainbow, strawberries, and sprinkles. Assemble the sprinkles. Everything is not hunky-dory, bro. Shayna cannot be booked like this. She's a better talent than this. A 30-second fruit roll-up? And there's people that are like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Okay, moving on. She'll be better booked next week, maybe. Who knows? If you don't like it, don't watch it, BC. Did somebody tell BC if he doesn't like it, just don't watch it? Yep, that's what I tell, that's what, when I watch my New York Knicks, and they suck every fucking year, I say, if I don't like it, I just don't watch it. And I quit watching my Knicks, right? No, because if I quit watching my Knicks, I wouldn't watch I finally got a decent season this year. Imagine if I was at a coffee shop, if I quit watching the Knicks 2 years ago and I start hearing, hey, the Knicks are starting to come back a little bit. I'd be like, oh, I wish I wasn't a quitter. I wish I was loyal to what I grew up loving. I'm not going to just stop watching. I'm going to voice my fucking frustrations and hope that it changes. For the better. Shayna Baszler losing in 30 seconds. Come on, bro! Come on! Seriously! Hold on, let me down some coffee. All right, Sami Zayn's red carpet premiere starts hour number 2. He introduces Logan Paul. What did I say earlier? Did I say Lenny Paul or some shit? Larry? According to the notes, it's Logan. Oops. If I did say Larry or Lenny or fucking Louie, all apologies to Logan. I guess it's Logan Paul. All right. I guess he's a fellow YouTuber. So, he's out there with Sami Zayn. I don't know why. This is supposed to, we got a celebrity for WrestleMania. Because he's supposed to be there at WrestleMania as well. Sami invited him and he accepted, so. You know, like I said back in the day, it was Alice Cooper, Pamela Anderson, you had fucking Regis Philbin, you know, names that you knew. Now it's Bad Bunny. And I'm not saying he doesn't have his fucking audience, by the way. The bunny that is bad, and the Paul that is Logan. Not saying that they don't have their audiences. And it's great that they're doing what they do. But a lot of people just don't know these dudes, man. We don't, you know, they're not world renowned yet. And hopefully one day they do. I'm not throwing shade, man. I hope they become uber successful worldwide. But they're being thrown out there, and I gotta be honest, I have to Google these people because I don't know who they are. And Logan Paul is another dude. I just don't know who he is. You know, I just don't. He's a YouTuber. I don't know what type of YouTube videos he makes. I doubt they're pro wrestling, though. But, I don't know. I guess maybe a video. The video game YouTubers are pretty popular. A lot of people like to play video games. Nobody likes to work anymore in this world. Everyone likes to play video games. So maybe he's a fucking... And then there's people that watch people play video games. It's so weird. There's people that play video games, and they have huge audience. Like, people watch them play... Now, I always say, man, if you got time to play video games for hours a day, you ain't doing shit correctly. You could be using those hours to become uber successful. Multi-millionaire. Kick ass. Kick this world's fucking ass. You should not be playing video games for hours. But there's something worse. What if you're one of... There's people that watch people play video games. What? Oh my goodness. It's true. Huge audiences. That'll be the day I watch somebody else play Mortal Kombat. Bitch, give me my controller. I'm doing this shit. That'll be the day I watch somebody else play a fucking game. I tell you. Anyway, I don't know where this is going, man. Let's get back on track. We start rolling the documentary, and then it ends and it says coming soon. But I'm like, I thought this was the premiere. So that was just a trailer of it? I thought this was the premiere. It was like a 2-minute fucking trailer of just everything we've already seen, just a video package. This was so stupid. Sami stops it after, or no, it just comes to an end, and then it says coming soon. And he wants to hear what Logan thinks of it. So he says, Logan, what do you think about this? And Logan Paul, keep wanting to say Larry Paul, Logan says, well, it's something. And Sami's like, well, what do you mean? What? And so they have a little bit of a spit and spat. They start like kind of arguing because Logan Paul brings up what he heard backstage from Kevin Owens, that Sami might be a little out there these days. He's letting this get to him. He's not thinking clearly. He's a little out of his dome piece. And Sami's like, whoa. You're my guest. You're not Kevin's guest. You're my guest. He's like, you're here with me. I don't care what he thinks, and you shouldn't either. And he's flipping out on Logan. And this Sami Zayn's good, man. You know, this Sami's really starting to become a character. And you know, I love characters in pro wrestling. Everybody seems to be the exact carbon copy of one another. I love when somebody stands out, i.e. Bray Wyatt, for instance. Sami Zayn, in a much different way, you know, he's becoming somebody that you're going to remember 2, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. That's hard to do if you're not leaving those memorable impressions. Sami Zayn is starting to do that, man. And this character, you can have a lot of fun with. At first, when he started this character, he just was a jokester. It was just all to poke fun at Sami, and he was becoming the class clown. And people will remember the class clown, I guess, but not for the right reasons. Now, Sami Zayn, you can do much more. Now, when he wins a title, you can have a reign out of this. Now, when he's in storylines, you can kind of get captivated a little bit more. I'm starting to see this whole character in Sami Zayn evolve into something much more special. I hope it keeps on that track. But he starts spatting with Logan, and then from out of nowhere, not an RKO, but a stunner from Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes from behind Sami Zayn, so he doesn't come from the ring. He comes from the Thunderdome audience and drops a stunner. So, Sami is playing this delusional, off-his-rocker character beautifully. And Logan wasn't horrendous here, man. Logan was okay. You know, he wasn't a tragic segment like I originally thought this could be. So, Sami Zayn playing his character beautifully. Logan wasn't horrendous. And Owens got to play the badass once more by just dropping Sami where he stood, and then he pushes Logan as he walks off. So this wasn't insanely bad segment-wise. My only gripe is that this all leads to a match between Zayn and Owens at WrestleMania. A match that we all know is going to be good, but a match we've seen 157 times. That's how we know it's going to be good. We've seen it so many times over the course of years. In 2021, it feels like filler. It feels like Vince McMahon had nothing for Kevin Owens and had nothing for Sami Zayn, so he just said, let's put them back together. Let's do it again in 2021. You know, so yeah, we get a good match, okay. And it's good that they're on the card and have somewhat of a storyline. But I just, you know, I remember all the times that we had to watch them on pay-per-views, on Raws, on Smackdowns, and NXT over the course of several years. Not just the independents. I'm just talking WWE NXT, because we saw them a lot on the independents if you follow the indies. But in NXT and WWE so many times, to the point where they literally said the last time, they're like, for the last time, because they had to advertise it as the last time, because people were like, wow, Owens and Zayn again? That's what we were saying their last time. It was a couple years ago, but still, it was like, okay, they cannot face each other for like a fucking decade at this point. You have worn it out 157 times. Well, now we get it again at Mania, and it just feels like filler. In 2021, I was hoping that Owens has evolved to something more, but no, we're right back to 4 years ago. 3-4 years ago when he was taking on Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens has not evolved at all. It's sad, but we're right back to a Sami Zayn feud. You know, it's like, what? It doesn't feel like progression. Sami Zayn it does, because Sami Zayn for a couple of years, man, this poor guy was treated like shit. So to see him in Mania in a match like this is a good thing to see. Owens, I feel it's a little bit of a regression. Bianca Belair versus Carmella is next. Hold on. Let's do this properly. Another swig. We're doing the Dunkin' Ice French Vanilla today, baby. This thing is fucking bold. These Dunkins come with a kick. Bianca Belair versus Carmella. Pre-match, Belair cut another fire interview with Kayla Braxton. Belair's mic game is improving by the hour at this rate. So good to see, man. All the dimensions of Belair coming together at the right time, and it is so beautiful to see. And Carmella is also beautiful to see. Has she always worn that top? Because she was backstage and she was warming up and she was bouncing, and you knew she knew what she was doing. I mean, there was a close-up and she was bouncing. And her fucking tangerines were fucking just like extra voluptuous. I don't know what the fuck was up with Carmella last night. Corey Graves was literally having a gasm on commentary. As they're going to break, as she's coming down the aisle, Corey Graves, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He's literally, I don't know what Cole is doing at that time. The camera wasn't on him, but Corey Graves was doing some shit. And Carmella's like fucking bouncing her bazooms. And BC was like, wow, I don't remember her. Like, what the fuck? Those things are gorgeous. Anyway, I had to get my mind back on track because I was about to see my gal, Bianca Belair. I just love Bianca Belair. And I love many assets of Carmella as well. So they took on each other. This ended with a KOD on Carmella, and Belair picks up the pinfall. Post-match, Sasha Banks hits the ring for a stare down. And nothing really comes of it. They just kind of stare down, a little bit of talking shit. Now, this needed to kick into high gear. The tag team with Sasha and Belair was a total flop. We all knew this. We all agree on this. Finally, last week it was over, and they've been smacking the taste out of one another's mouth and the yellow off one another's teeth. And they've been smacking the shit out of one another, and I'm like, all right, now we have 2 weeks left, too. That was last week. We have 2 more weeks. We can build this to what it's supposed to be. Last night, they didn't put any effort at all. Belair just has a match with Carmella. Sasha comes out. They stare at one another. And that's that. Wrap. Moving on. I'm not saying you have to have a ton of physicality because you want to save that for Mania. You have to tell a story. Get creative. This is one of your biggest matches at Mania. Belair and Sasha. Definitely one of the most anticipated on a pretty lackluster card. And that's the effort you put into it? Because you're too busy putting together schmaz tag matches or world premiere events with Larry Paul, Logan Paul, What the fuck? You're too busy trying to squeeze in a third person to your title match with Edge and Roman? And this gets no care. I loved what I saw last week with Sasha and Bianca, and I'm like, all right, now we can kick this into high gear. We had the steam, we had the oven pumped to 450. We just dropped the oven now to fucking 175. We can't go any lower here. Next week, they got to do something fucking huge. And again, Carmella. Wow. Wow. That was... Carmella is... Whoa. I tell you, man. Moving on. Main event, Crying Brian versus Jey Uso in a street fight. A couple of issues right out of the gate. Number one, we've seen this match 65 times. And this is what is supposed to get us hyped for WrestleMania. A 66th time of Uso versus Daniel Bryan. That's my first gripe with this. Number two, how is this a street fight? They're literally just wrestling with some occasional chair shots here and there. For the majority of the match anyway. At the very end, I think Daniel Bryan used a chain around his elbow. Wow! This is a street fight! Now listen, I grew up in projects, made bad decisions. I've been in the fucking big house for a while at times. I know what a street fight is, and unfortunately, I've been in a lot of them. This is not a street fight! It's just not! My question is, what happens when there is an actual street... What happens when you have two dudes actually in the middle of the road, like actually in the street, having a match? What do you call that? If what we saw last night is a street fight, and it's just them using a chair every now and again, what happens when you actually want to promote a street fight? You're literally ruining the image of it. You're devaluing what a street fight should be. And if you're gonna have it around the ring, man, make it like an all-out war. I saw AEW put on some fucking gimmick schmaz match this past Wednesday night. It was called like Arcade Anarchy with the Miro, who was Rusev in WWE. And, who the fuck was it? Hold on. He was with his fucking best friend there. Who do you take on? Well, that's gonna bug the shit out of me. Anyway, Miro was in an Arcade Anarchy fucking match. It just was a bunch of fucking arcade games around ringside, and you can use, like, the arcade, you can use chairs, you can use kendo Arcade Anarchy is just any normal fucking no-holds-barred match. But they made it to where it was a war! They literally used everything underneath the sun! Everything but the kitchen sink was used. Here, it's a street fight and he's just using a steel chair. Fuck, man, you can't do that. It devalues when we actually want to have a street fight. Anyway, that's a whole nother rant I can go on for a half an hour. Number one, I've seen this match so many times. Number two, it's not a street fight. So, the match itself, what do you say? Edge is on commentary. Roman Reigns is watching at the top of the ramp. And Uso taps out to the yes lock. There's nothing I can talk about for 5 minutes here. Nothing. They walked around. They did some wrestling. They hit each other with some chairs. And then at the very end, Uso taps out to a yes lock. Exactly what we thought was going to happen, happened. Post-match, Bryan then attacks Edge. Beats the hell out of Edge, ramming Edge's dome piece into the fucking steel post. And then after he's done beating up Uso and Edge, Daniel Bryan's looking at Roman and like, I might as well beat you up too because I'm invincible right now. And he goes up and he beats the shit out of Roman. Gives him a knee to his dome piece. Roman's knocked out. He fucking puts him in the yes lock. Roman can't get out of it. He's fucking squealing like a pig. Takes fucking 7 people to get Daniel Bryan all of a sudden is a monster. I like D-Bry. I do. But what the fuck? How is this believable? There's people in the community that are like, Daniel Bryan being inserted in this match or not. Roman cannot drop the title at Mania. That was their big gripe with Edge going in there, right? Everyone thought Edge was definitely going to win, and Roman can't drop the title. This is stupid, man. Blasphemy. Screw Edge, man. Roman cannot lose the title. He can't be booked to look weak like that. The same people are probably okay with last night. Oh, it's okay. He got his ass whooped. He can't always win. You can't always win, Beasley. You can't always look dominant, Beasley. You can't look like that either. Man, Roman got his ass whooped by a dude who just beat up Edge and his cousin Jay. This little dude beat up 3 dudes in 90 seconds. That's as believable as what he just did last night being called a street fight. In pro wrestling, we suspend reality. Of course. But make it somewhat believable. I believe Bray Wyatt's supernatural shit just like I did Undertaker's supernatural ability and Papa Shango's supernatural ability. I'll believe all of that before I believe this. Come on, bro. It's got to be more of a war. I would end the show with Roman and Bryan going to blows, man. Just real vicious blows, right? That's more fun. Okay, he beat up Jay and Edge somehow. I'll believe it. All right. He's on fire. And then he gets to the top of the ramp, and him and Roman are just literally like madmen throwing punches at each other's dome piece. 7 officials, Adam Pearce, fucking Pat Buck, everybody's out there. Some authority, suit and ties, everyone's trying to break it up, but you see them just pounding each other, and we fade to black. I mean, they're going at it. That's how BC would have this end. If I'm told by Vince that this is how it has to end, with these 3 going to war like this, Bryan looking much stronger. At least save face for Roman too. Right? I'll give you 1 out of them. Okay, I'll help him take out Edge after Jay. But you can't take all. I mean, let's make it a war, like a real fun war to end it. No. Bryan's just beating them all up. Not believable for me. Beasley, I'm okay with it, man. It's okay, Beasley. That's great. I'm saying we can make it better. Just having Roman in a yes lock didn't make me excited. When the show went off the air, I was like, okay. We all went at the edge of our seat going, whoa, yes lock on Roman. It's more fun if they're just literally just smashing each other. I mean, they're going at it, and we fade to black. You believe they're still brawling. You don't know if they ever stop. Half an hour later, you're like, they must still be going. That's typical WWE. They do it at the most mediocre levels. They don't think about getting better. At this point, we'll even take fucking good. We'll take decent shows consistently at this point with this company. But that was your SmackDown, guys. We only have 1 left. They're promoting it like a WrestleMania SmackDown next Friday because it's going to be taped, so they need to have some gimmickry, and that's what we're going to have, man. Tag titles on the line. The women's tag titles will probably on the... It's going to be a fucking schmod. That's another thing. The women's tag... Did I even go over that, guys? Didn't the women have a fucking... I thought the women had a fucking match last night, no? I thought the women had a match last night. No, you know what happened? After Shayna lost the fucking match to Natty in 30 seconds via the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating fruit roll-up, afterwards... Everybody came down the ringside. It was like Naomi and Lana, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose. Every tag, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, I believe, were out there. Every team that they had for females, or anybody that they made a team, like everybody is just singles competitors thrown together. Mandy and Dana, Lana and Naomi, and Ruby and Liv, or at least you could look at more as a team. But for the most part, it's everyone just thrown together. Even your champion, Shane and fucking Nia, thrown together. Because Vince has nothing for nobody, for anybody. So he just throws everybody together. So after Shayna got pinned in 30 seconds via the fruit roll-up, he just had everybody go out there, and now they're all gonna have a fucking fatal 4-way or some shit. I'm sure it's coming anyway. But you're gonna have some schmozzery with them as well next week. And probably again at WrestleMania. So I don't know, man. To say this does not feel like WrestleMania season is an understatement. This is really bad. This is horrible, actually. And I'm not over-exaggerating at all. I'm telling you, this is really fucking bad. And we're just along for the ride, man. We're on the road to WrestleMania together. And ain't nobody getting off now, man. We're in this thing together. We're gonna fucking keep reviewing these shows. No matter how tragic they are, no matter how much they're not progressing in the excitement, we're gonna talk about them. As fairly, as accurately, as truthfully as possible. Better than anybody in this fucking community. You know BC's got your back. You know, BC's gonna rock with you in the best way possible. Ain't nobody in this community on my fucking level, dog. You guys tell me that, and I appreciate it, but BC knows this. I've seen them all. Damn. I'm up here. You got other motherfuckers lay down here. Like, hey, man, why is BC so damn good at what he does? You can't teach this. You're born with this type of knowledge. You're born with this type of impact. When it comes to pro wrestling, there ain't nobody as amped as the Amp Man. Come on, bro. And there ain't nobody better than the Amp unit. For now, you know what we gotta do. We gotta rock this weekend's ass. Coffees and ass whoopings. Think, be, live, amplified. Till next time, check you later. Carmella, bro. Whoa.